Hello everybody, welcome to Branch of Brain, and today I will be explaining the English attack of the Najdorf English. So to understand the English attack, we should understand the Najdorf. So what is the point of playing a6? You might ask, it's just like a side pawn move. Like a6 has no pawn, it's just like a side move. We're not developing, we're not playing for the center. So, how is this a good move? Well, the answer is simple. The old mainline used to be e5. The problem with e5 is it's a counter, bishop to d5. And because it's check, we need to block. So, already with e5, black has made a concession on the d5 square and the d6 pawn. So, exchanging the light square bishop would not be good, or blocking in the light square bishop would not be great. So, here black hunted bishop to d7, bishop d7, queen d7, knight f5, g6, knight to g3. Oops. And even if black plays bishop to g7, it's no good. There's the d5 square weakness, there's the d6 pawn weakness, there's the h6 square, there's the f6 square. Everything is simply dropping. There's this open diagonal which white can use to attack. Everything is just dropping from that. So there's no point of playing this variation. And if he plays into d7, then we can just play into f5 directly. And after that, it will just be the exact same position with the exact same weaknesses, g6 and g3, g7, and except this light squared bishop wouldn't have been exchanged, but there's no point. This bishop cannot come to e6 and attack. So, let's go back. Chess players developed the move a6. Now it's blocking every piece from coming to the d5 square, and so it becomes quite important. And here bishop to e3 is the English attack. Of course, there are other moves such as bishop to g5, bishop to c4, bishop to d3, just f3, sometimes even g4. I've seen g4 before. h3 rook g1, rook g1 I think is called the peak attack, h3 is called the Adams attack, f3 and bishop e3 transpose, so they are both English attacks. Bishop to g5 is the main line, bishop to c4 is the Fischer source. So anyway, coming to bishop to e3, white is going to search for the setup, moving this pawn to 3, solidifying this pawn and trying to throw his kingside pawns at black, castle queen side, play queen to b2, if possible play bishop to c4 or else play bishop to d3, play either rook dg1 or rook kg1 and attack the king. On the other hand, black is going to look for maybe b5, b4, a5, a4 attack, play knight d7, play queen c7, play either e6 or e5, play bishop to e7, play bishop e6 if e5 is played, play castles and play rook to c8 and try to attack white's king. So, simply speaking, here the most popular move, most popular move is e5. So, black is willing to make the concession on the d5 and d6 square, but because the bishop cannot come to b5, it is confirmed that black can move his bishop to e6 and attack quite a lot on white's queen side. So So after that, black's gonna continue b5, etc. and b5, b4, a5, a4, and he's gonna try to attack white's queenside. Of course, there are other moves for black. First of all, there's the e6 variation, which is much more solid, and there are no concessions in the center, there are no concessions in development, there are no concessions anywhere. But this doesn't mean it is a passive variation, because white's gonna of course aim for the same setup of f3, queen to d2, castles, but sometimes they might play f4, but f3 is actually much better. And here black's gonna play bishop to e7, queen to c7, knight b d7, and b5, bishop to b7. And first of all, after f3, you can either play bishop to e7, knight d7, or queen to c7. I would recommend either queen to c7 or bishop to e7. Bishop to e7 is just a normal developing move. You're gonna need to play anywhere, anytime in a Sicilian. And queen to c7 happens most of the time, so you can also play it. And queen to c7 also stops the bishop from coming to c4, and with the bishop on c4 it can retreat to b3, and it's going to help white's defense and also create threats of f4, f5, revealing this diagonal. So anyway, that's the next other sideline, which is knight g4, which is the anti-English attack, and according to me it's the worst because it's making too many concessions. Of course, some grandmaster games just end in a repetition like this, but sort of bishop to g5 is the main move. After h6, bishop to h4, g5, bishop to g3, bishop to g7, and black can't castle queenside, so he has to castle kingside. But you can see all the concessions he has made on the his kingside castle, so he needs to create an attack quickly. So if h3, he's gonna need to retreat, but for bishop to e2 or f3 threatening the g4 knight, he's not gonna need to retreat. f3 is not playable, FYI, because knight to e3, queen to d2, bishop to d4, and you can't capture queen to d4 because knight c3 winning the queen. But bishop to e2 would just mean h5, and after which bishop captures f3, bishop d7, and the position seems better for white, I think, but very rarely. It's sometimes been played in the highest levels. Anyway, let's get back to the main line. Here, there's of course knight to f3, but knight to f3 is more passive, so because it's not creating that 4g4 setup, so it'll be easier for black to create a attack on the queen side, and he can just play h6 to prevent knight to g4, g5, and he plays bishop to e6. So after this, knight b3 gives the best fighting chance for both sides. Bishop to e6, but bishop to e7 was there at one point of time. Bishop to c4 puts an end to that, but so bishop to e6 is after that, bishop to e6, f6, and both sides have less attacking chances, but after that black has threats of d5. So after that it seems kind of drawish, though it's a Sicilian, because black will have a strong center, but white would have slightly better development, and black will also have a hanging north center, not a proper center. So bishop to e6 is the main move. f3. So he's going to the same setup of g4, etc. But of course, you can play queen to d2 first. There's no And after f3, of course you can play knight bd7 or bishop to e7. Both of them transpose into each other, but I would recommend the bishop to e7 line first, because it is just played more often, and knight d7. Sometimes people try to confuse you with random moves like g3, h3, and bishop to e7 is just so sound, and bishop to g5 is totally countered. Of course, h3, g3, none of these have any merit. They are easy to counter, but they are sometimes used to confuse people. Sometimes even f4. Anyway, they transpose. So queen to d2, knight d7. Of course, you don't want to play queen to c7 at the start, because it's just going to be a waste of queen development. Because the queen is going to come to the attack with f5 or b6 or c7 anyways. So, and it's not even stopping the bishop from coming to the c4 square, because the bishop's already controlling c4. So you can just play knight bd7 and continue. Knight bd7, castles, castles. So both of them are walking into each other's pawn storm. They don't really care. g4, b5, g5, b4. Of course, this is just the main line, and many a times white can play h4, or he can play g1, and at the same time he doesn't even need to play g4 all the time. He can sometimes play a3, he can sometimes play to b1, and there will be a lot of dynamic. One thing you're gonna need to look out for is the knight to d5 move, which, if successfully played with sufficient defense on the d5 square from white, then sufficient influence, not sufficient defense, then the position will be very cramped for black, and it's just going to be winning white. And I'm just going to show you a sample variation at the moment to show you how sharp sometimes these positions can get. Of course, you don't want to capture, because after captures with check and wins. So into e2, into e8, and after that f4, coming to trap, a5, f5, a4, and this just means this and this. But fe6 is the most popular, but the other, and according to me the best move, is knight d4. So this sacrifices the knight, has threats of knight to c6, and it improves the position of the other knight. So for example, e4, e4, and remember this bishop remains trapped. Bishop to e2 or bishop to a2, of course, is there though. And here, knight to c6 is a serious threat, but b3 can just simply be played, because this a3, cb3, and though black might get a pawn down. First of all, white's castle is gone, rook a1's coming, the queen can come to c7, the other knight can come to c7, b5, d5, etc. Knight to e5, knight to c4 ideas are coming. So it's going to be a really sharp game which you're going to need to watch out